Hi, welcome to the FontBond Instructional Technology Mini Conference, Spring 2014. My name is Chet Pleggy, and I'm going to be giving my presentation today on Prezi. And Prezi is a cloud-based presentation software that works similar to PowerPoint. It doesn't quite have as many features, which I think kind of makes it nice. And it makes a great tool to be able to be used in your classroom, both for you and your students, that I think you're really going to enjoy. And hopefully we don't have too many little mistakes like that. Okay, so let's get started. This is your opening presentation page with Prezi. And this is kind of where all your information shows up. This is under your Prezis right here. You also have Learn and Support and Explore. But for today, we're just pretty much going to stick with this page because we're going to go in and be actually creating a small Prezi. And the way you get started is after you have created your login and gotten through that part and hopefully maybe viewed some of their videos because they are helpful, you're going to go ahead and click on New Prezi. And it's going to open up a little dialog box here in a second. And it's going to give you a couple different options that you can use. You can go ahead and use a template, which they provide for you, which is pretty cool. Or you can go ahead and pick your own. And that's kind of nice and simple, and I think just to start with, obviously, probably the best way to go. So we're going to go ahead and click Start Blank Prezi. And it opens up to this right here. And if you look over on the left-hand side, you can kind of see what appears to be kind of like what you would see in PowerPoint, very similar. You do not have all the bells and whistles that you do have with a PowerPoint presentation, but this is a much faster and cleaner way to make a presentation. And obviously the big selling point to me, even though I didn't pay a dime for this, was it is cloud-based. And I don't know if you're like me, but I'm pretty sick of using those little thumb drives and having to save all my pictures and save everything else and then transfer it over. And, you know, I guess we're getting lazier and lazier, but I guess when it makes it this nice and simple that you can just save it to your computer and it saves to the cloud and you don't have to worry about it, that's a great thing. And, you know, when you start thinking about the uses as far as your kids go, wow, what a great way that they can actually work on stuff at home and not have an excuse like, well, I didn't have the program. Well, you do. So this is your opening slide, and your slide is not necessarily one slide. Your slide is a whole canvas that as I scroll back, you can see that little circle disappear. And when you start a Prezi, it just creates that little slide circle right there, but you can go up here to frames and arrows and create your own different kind of slide that you want. And it gives you 5 different choices, 1, 2, 3, 4 different choices. And you have draw a bracket, draw a circular frame, draw a rectangular frame, or draw an invisible frame. And we're going to go ahead and just draw a rectangular frame, just to start. So there is our first frame. Now, there's nothing in that frame, which is okay. And we're going to draw another frame over here just for the fun of it. A circle frame, just to kind of see the difference. Okay? And that is where you're going to put your information. If you do an invisible frame, it does give you a little bit of a border that you can see what you're actually putting your information in. And now we're going to jump into how do you actually go ahead and put in your information into these neat little circles and squares and invisible squares. To entering text. And I think this is one of the really cool features that Prezi has that makes it real easy for you to go in and create a presentation and have some real simple control over it. And all you need to do is go in and click in the box, click in your slide, and a little word bar will open that you can extend if you'd like. And if you want to move it, you can move it. And you can also just click and it'll open another one. So that's kind of cool, where you can just go ahead and play around and not have to really work too hard to get something put in, as far as maybe you're doing notes in class and you just want to do this really quick. And if you look up here, you've got title, and that puts it in bold. The subtitle will change it to bold and in italic, and then finally your body just takes it to straight normal. So we're just going to go ahead and type in all about golf. And as you can see, if you want to expand it, you can do that, or stop, open another one, go to subtitle, and enter in your info. And I'm just kind of tooling around here. I really don't have a big thing that I've come up with to show you guys as far as what I'm putting in here. But so you've got your title right here, and you can move it around, and you can see those little lines that pop on there. They're actually great because they do help you align stuff. So when you're trying to get your words all put together and make it look really nice and clean, that's a great way to do it. So if I go back to down here and I click on rules of the game, I can make it bigger if I want to, just by clicking on it, which is nice. And I can delete it if I want to, if I didn't like it. I can go in and edit the text, and pretty much, like if I wanted to put in a bullet point, I can put in a bullet point just by clicking right there. And I don't know if it changed that. I guess it does change it all the way back. You don't even have to highlight it, which is nice. And then you can also go up in here and change the color. Pretty simple. And that's really pretty much it as far as, being able to just start off with the basics. There are a couple more things, but I think for right now, that pretty much gives you some idea as far as going ahead and entering text in. And you can actually come down here and click on your frame, zoom to frame, and it'll bring it right back in. Okay, so from inserting text to now inserting other stuff, which I think is really my favorite part about Prezi, because I'm a visual person and I like pictures and I like using pictures in the slides and the presentations that I do. But the one thing I don't like is having to save all those images onto a thumb drive and then having to go back and find them or putting them on my computer. It just takes a lot of time, and this just simplified it so much. So you can still use your own stuff if you want to, but Prezi has definitely made it easier by being able to let you open up the insert image dialog box, and over on the right hand side, there you go. And it's directly linked to Google. So I can go in and type in USGA, which stands for United States Golf Association, which is the primary rule maker in the United States. And it's taking a little bit of time to find what we're looking for. So hopefully that'll click up here in a second. And there we go. And we'll just scan down and find a logo that we like. And drag it over. I don't like that one. And usually they are a little large, so when it does open, it gives you a pretty quick indication of how big it's going to be, and probably that you're going to have to resize it. So we can just go ahead and make a couple clicks and resize it. And there you go. And as you can see, real easy to line up. It lines up with the text above it, so it is centered. And there you have the rules of the game. Link to the USGA. Not necessarily a link, but just a picture of the USGA, so we know what we're talking about. Then, why is golf so expensive? So let's just type in money golf and use this picture right here. Again, too big, but we can shrink it down. And there you can see it lines up with the USGA picture that's already inserted. And then it'll line up again on the top. So you can see there that everything is aligned horizontally and vertically, which makes it real easy for you. Now the next thing that's kind of cool is you can get in and really do some nifty little things to your pictures depending on how crazy you want to get. You can go into here to Effects, and it gives you the whole listing of all those cool things that you can do, such as black and white, or make it greener, or highlight it, or put a halo on it. And for sake of just making it simple, we're going to go with the Concord version today. So it changes it, looks like it kind of adds a real high contrast look to it. We'll hit apply, save, and takes just a second, but there it changed my picture. And so if I want to do some customization as far as what my presentation looks like, I can go ahead.